and welcome back to another exciting podcast episode of American Pylon. Your host, as always, Will Mehall, joined by my counterparts, James Thomas Fanning IV, Tyler Combs, and David Grayson, producer behind the tech making all this possible. It's been a while since we've last recorded, almost a month.
Yeah, it's been 3 weeks, I think. Producer Dave sold his house, was doing adult things, and
yeah,
and that's still doing them.
Yeah, and we can't function without him. We found out because we don't know how to set up any of this equipment.
Yeah,
or we know how to set it up and plug it in. We don't know how to operate
know
it.
Any of the thing. I know where everything goes.
Yeah, we know how to set it up and break it down. We don't know how to use it once it's in place.
Job security.
There you go. Yeah,
seriously.
That's why he won't teach us.
Yeah, but we're glad to be back with everybody and talking about a few different topics today. The one, this is like just kind of a random thing that we saw today, was the Georgia track runner. If you guys haven't seen this or follow Georgia track very closely, which I would be surprised if you did not, it's a very exciting sport at Georgia. But there was.
Did you guys ever go to a track meet in college?
No.
I never did. I went to a Gym Dogs meet once.
I
should have done that.
That was fun.
I mean, for somebody that actually worked in the athletic department and was supposed to go to all of those events, I never went to a track meet, if that tells you anything.
Did you have like a quota, but you could fill it up with basketball games and baseball games and stuff?
Yeah, and basketball was just more, I don't know, it was more fun, easier to go
indoors.
to.
That pizza wasn't going to give itself away.
Indoors is important. But I think there's
that
obviously
t-shirt cannon wasn't going to shoot itself.
There's a hierarchy, obviously, of college sports. Football, and then basketball, baseball,
well,
a whole bunch of crap, the women's sports, and then there's track and field.
I would argue that almost.
Kidding, the Gym Dogs are up there for Georgia. It changes school to school. Obviously.
I would say football, Gym Dogs, basketball, as far as popularity.
Sure. Up until next year, because
we are so back.
Georgia basketball is so back.
That's true.
They have to be
let's talk about the javelin thing, and then we'll talk about us being
the Night
back.
King. Basically, I read
this was a much more exciting story when you only read the headline and just make up the story yourself. Here's the Georgia runner impaled by javelin has surgery.
Yeah.
I saw that and I was like, wow.
So I was like, oh my God. I was sitting at work naturally reading through the sports headlines and I see this headline pop up on ESPN. I was like, oh my God, I hope there's a video. And I click on it and it just turns out that this javelin was like planted in the ground and he fell on it.
Collapsed his own lung, had to have surgery, thoughts and prayers.
Like falling on the sword. Like that's a metaphorical.
Which is now owned by Piedmont.
Yeah, it was bizarre to say the least. Apparently, he went through surgery and he's okay. But
he will miss the remainder of the track season.
What happened?
That's a huge loss.
Shoulder.
It punctured his lung. So I think it went through his back, and I don't know if it came out the front or what.
I was just envisioning like the Night King, like javelin winding up, leading the guy as he's running 100-meter, and just straight through. That's what I was I wouldn't say hoping to see, but I was hoping there's going to be a video of that, and that was not there, nor a picture.
I mean, we hope the kid's okay. Yes, we're going to go ahead. We're going to go ahead and say we're glad the kid's okay. Elijah,
back from
Godwin.
the dead.
Yeah, Godwin. So kind of
Elijah Holyfield, Terry Godwin mix, and that's what you get when you those guys just can't exist in the same body. This is what happens.
Falling on javelins.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a tragic event. But I agree. I mean, obviously we're glad the kid's okay. But as far as dramatics and how the headline read, I think we were all kind of hoping for a little bit of.
ESPN totally knew what they were doing when they wrote that headline. They gave as few details as possible because they were hoping a bunch of people would just read the headline and just sort of run with it, which is exactly what I did to their credit.
So here we are talking about it.
I guess we have something we can learn from them.
Yeah. So T's and P's to our track and field team. Hope they come back next year without this guy. There's one guy. How does that work? Track and field. Obviously, a ton of stuff's going on. Women's and men's. Shot put. I don't know. You got 400 meters, 100 meters. Our roommate here, good friend of ours, ran track at Auburn. He can probably tell us a little bit more about how all that looks.
Yeah, we've talked to him in depth about his practices and stuff like that because that's interesting. Never the scorekeeping.
Yeah,
of
or
a track meet.
like a game day. How does a match day meet? Whatever.
The only time
it's called a meet.
The only time I see that is when the Olympics come around every 4 years.
Right.
So I honestly have no idea because I feel.
But even then, it's all individual events. Like I don't think a country wins track and field, right?
Yeah.
No, they would win an event, right?
Yeah, but like you can be the track and field national champion.
No, I don't think so.
I think you can.
Like an individual or a school?
Like the school can win a national championship, and then
would that
individual athletes can win national championships in individual events. But there's an aggregate score.
Like gymnastics.
Yeah, I was going to say, or maybe it's just, or it's like the Olympics, all of those events making up, like if you have more winners places.
I don't know. Or if they weight the different events, like a 100-meter sprint is worth more than the shot put. Because it's more exciting.
Well, we have no idea what we're talking about now. So if anyone knows, tweet at us.
Tweet at us.
Comment on us.
Don't
all those
us,
things are still
active.
We had 2 new views this week, so it was great. So
we haven't had a thing.
So still interact with us.
We got a notification that somebody watched
and let us know. But yeah, the thing about me with track and field meets is like when you do watch it on TV. There is so much going on. You see these people doing like the 400, and then like in the corner, there's this guy doing like the long jump into the sand, and that was that guy's attempt. In the middle of this whole thing, everyone's cheering and clapping for pole vaulter here, shot put here, this, that, other thing, and then it's just there's like 8 events going on.
That's why I thought the javelin thing would have gone awry because there's just too much stuff going on.
The gym dogs meets are the same way. There's always at least like 2 events going on at the same time.
Which to me would be. I mean, it's not as distracting. I mean, a football game. There is crowds cheering. It's just raucous, right? It's not quite that, I'm sure. But to me, if I'm trying to concentrate on like a balance beam, which I can't do at all, obviously they're more practice at it. But like, how do they concentrate on that when someone's doing the dance routine or whatever? Like, I know I sound uneducated, not knowing
technical term
what that's called. I know.
And we also, speaking of track and field, did you see our 100-meter sprinter commit in high school set the national record for a high school senior?
That white kid?
Yeah, I was going to say.
Isn't that crazy?
Out of that field when the race started, I expected him to be literally anyone except who he was.
That's the most notable thing about
his name's Matthew Downing. Or no, that's our quarterback that left.
Yeah,
Matthew
Downing.
Bowling. That's his name.
Okay. Yep.
And so it was like Matthew Bowling sets record, and I saw it, and he was the only white person. So I was like, all right, it was going to be anyone but this guy.
Yeah.
And then it was him. So that was shame on me.
2019, hell of a year.
Yeah,
he was booking it.
Yeah. I think he almost beat Usain Bolt's 100-meter record, which was even incredible.
Well, I think like his high school 100-meter record or something. I mean,
no,
his actual 100-meter record is like 10.58, and he ran a 10.95 or something.
Was it that?
It wasn't particularly close.
I mean,
I read it. It would have gotten 7th place in the last Olympics. So I think it was really good.
Kids, what? The kid's 18?
I don't know. To me, that's pretty damn good.
No, I mean, it's fast.
He'll grow into it.
Considering the kind of discussion and quality that we've been having about track, I would say that that's good in my view.
He didn't have a very good start from my...
He stumbled at the block.
Yeah, like my limited knowledge of
Really?
Starting. Yeah. He had an okay start. He started in the middle to the back of the pack.
Yeah.
And then
I saw the video. I guess I just didn't pay attention too.
It's like a gazelle. It's like he wasn't even touching the ground.
That's crazy. I mean, he's going to be a great Patriot one day. I mean,
exactly.
Bill Belichick is going to love that guy.
Kirby's playing
salivating
4D chess over here. We're scholarships to track kids. He's going to come in and return punts for us.
I would think like that, or almost line them up on their best. Not their best. That's up to the defense. But line them up against someone in their secondary and just run nines. Just run a flag route all the way down the field all game. Just have this guy run and sprint.
So he's exhausted.
Just sprint a guy. And then if he's open, let it run.
I would imagine I don't know. If you're that good at track, I wonder if you quit all other sports to focus, or I wonder if you played football like a wide receiver for his high school.
There's certainly not money. I mean, there's definitely money, but there's not as much money to be made in track and field, right? I was talking to Coop about that. Like, some of these guys are so athletic. I mean, they ended up settling on track and field, but... I shouldn't say settle, but they that ends up being their sport of choice. Yeah. And it's like there's definitely you have a unique skill set, obviously, to where you can make a lot more money doing X.
There's probably only a handful of people in the world that make a living off of what they earned from track and field, I would imagine. At least as far as endorsements and stuff go.
Well, like Usain Bolt, obviously.
And
probably millions
other people.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Same as like Michael Phelps, probably. Like those are the only ones in that sport that are going to transcend, I guess, and make millions, on endorsements and everything else. But you got to be marketable, obviously talented,
here comes Matthew Bowling. Don't look now.
Yeah, but there you go. Where does he go to high school? Here, right? Is it in Georgia?
It's from Dallas.
It's in Dallas, in Texas. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess
we've got long recruiting arms for.
We're a national brand now. It's the Kirby effect. It's rippling out into other sports.
Would you say football does that? Yeah, I mean, I think so. The national brand that football makes for all of colleges, not just UGA.
Yeah.
Extend that. So same as Alabama, I guess. It's been noted for many schools, if you win a national championship game, like your enrollment that year goes up. I don't know if there's an average percent, but it definitely shoots up.
Yeah.
So I'm willing to bet.
There's certain like marquee schools like Southern Cal is one. I don't know that much about Southern Cal, but traditionally they're so good at football.
It's on the radar.
I sort of respect them in other athletics. I have no idea if they're good at basketball or not.
That's true. That's what's crazy to me. Is speaking of that, like I know this is always random to me. Auburn University, they have
terrible at everything.
But they have like this weird record where they won like 10 straight. I may be wrong, but it's like national championships or something like they won 8 out of 10, 7 out of 10, something.
In what sport?
Swimming.
Oh, okay.
Which Auburn, Alabama,
really good at
landlocked, no ocean. I mean, I guess there's Orange Beach down there. Like, they do touch some of the ocean, but like to me, I would think Miami, USC, like someone on the coast who people have grown up swimming their entire life.
Yeah, but I feel like your training for swimming is done indoors, so it doesn't really.
I guess
matter.
That's true. I guess I would think the stronger swimmers would come from someone who's constantly around water. That's just part of their lifestyle.
The Iron Islands.
Yeah,
you would think so.
Yeah.
So it's just funny to me to find out what sports. Like I would assume someone like USC, like you were just saying, I assume they're good at all sports, would have that kind of record. But it's of all people, Auburn, Alabama. Now equestrian, Auburn, Alabama, all day, whatever. That's you. You ride your horses, you do the country thing,
Georgia's
to the Old Town Road.
Really good.
But yeah, I mean, you missed it.
But then again, we're really good at everything.
I get it. Okay, because they're rednecks out there and they ride horses.
That and to their Old Town Road, but.
Is that song about Alabama? No. I haven't never listened to the words. I haven't listened to it.
It was a shameful plug.
I remember. Do you remember when Coop was talking about where the track team for Auburn would recruit their female like shot put people? He was like, they were from all faraway places like Bulgaria, Slovenia, Michigan. That was like the third place he landed on.
Way up there.
It was Michigan. I guess some girls from Michigan.
A distant, far off
land.
Was
like throwing the discus or something.
Far north. Speaking of horses, though, Kentucky Derby.
Oh, yeah,
just wrapped that up this weekend. We had a really fun event over at Jimmy's girlfriend's place. It was a interesting, I don't know what you'd call it.
It was a Cinco de Derby party.
Yeah,
is what they called it.
And may the fourth be with you.
What the Star Trek?
Star Trek. Yeah,
I messed that up so bad.
Yeah,
I'm a big Star Wars guy too. That was horrible. Star Wars doesn't have they don't have a symbol.
They don't need it.
I guess you're right.
I guess that's true.
Anyway, there were a couple Star Wars people.
Yeah, we had like what Will was saying. I interrupted that and ruined that. But we had a mixed party of Cinco de Mayo Derby days and May the 4th be with you, which is a fun hodgepodge of a party.
It was awesome.
It was a really fun party, and we got to watch the race. And
I was the only one that showed up in all-out Derby gear. Tyler was wearing a button-down.
I was wearing like
that was about as
preppy, the button-down tucked in with some like golf shorts. So I thought that looked okay. I also found unfortunate, way too late now, a seersucker bow tie that I had.
Oh, no.
Wow. That would have been real nice.
Yeah.
To have somebody else there wearing a bow tie.
I failed you on that. But
button-down, bow tie, blazer.
You look sharp.
Belt.
When you and Natalie walked in, y'all look good. I will say I liked it. And then Mary Claire, I think, also another one of the hosts. Shout out to Mary Claire. Thanks for hosting. Great host. Even when she comes over here, she helps us out with clean the place and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, but it was a good time. It was fun to see everyone kind of wearing derby dresses, hats, or bow ties, or blazers like Will, and then had some Star Wars people.
Yoda t-shirt. First of all,
shout out Ariana.
And then we had
what were
I don't know.
I have no
well, yeah, they went to Target and bought T-shirts that were Star Wars T-shirts, and then they like vaguely did their hair and it wasn't
some glitter.
Princess Leia, and then they had glitter.
It was
they
fun.
asked Alan. Alan was wearing a shirt with Yoda on it, and they go, "Who's that on your shirt?" And he goes, "Yoda." And they go, "Who's that?"
Big Star Wars fan.
Big Star Wars people.
Yeah.
But we covered it all. And then we had some people who showed up in ponchos and big sombreros and everything.
Yeah,
so
it was very offensive.
Yeah.
That was fun.
We asked them to leave.
The favorite in the race led end to end and won, and then got disqualified.
Who did you guys?
No, I thought the favorite was
That was the favorite, maximum security.
No, I thought the favorite was.
No, it definitely was.
Well, anyways, the horse that won got disqualified, which I guess has never happened before. It hasn't happened since like the 70s or something. I don't know a ton about horse racing. Did you guys do the buy-in
where you paid who did y'all have?
I don't know. Tax. His name was Tax. T-A-X. Yeah.
I had Roadster. And
what place did he come in?
15th.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, that's
Tax came in, whatever 14
one above.
Names, but okay, maximum security is at the bottom because he got disqualified. I was thinking it was going top to bottom. Yeah, so Country House.
He was like a 65 to 1.
Yeah, 65 to 1
odds.
Mm-hmm.
which is crazy. It was $100 million swing apparently.
So I thought a good thing about, or I heard a good thing about this is as far. I thought Improbable was the best winner, or was the favorite. I guess not. I thought Improbable was the guy.
I think it just mattered what sportsbook you looked at.
Possibly. So Maximum Security ended up not winning because of the disqualification. We can just get into the nitty gritty of that. What I thought was interesting was, regardless of who won, where the money comes from in horse, I guess, is how you want to do your pedigree. And people aren't going to look at Country House and say, that horse should have won, would have won, without a shadow of a doubt. That's who I want to, do my horse breeding with. So that they were like, I'm not sure the money's going to follow. Like, it's not going to get like that endorsement. Like, that's not just not going to be. Well, there's not going to be people lining up. That's where
first leg of the Triple Crown,
right? So. But I think they already said he's not going to race in the next one because he has some coughing issues or something.
Oh, Country Horse isn't?
No,
because I know Maximum Security's owner said
Country
he's
Horse
not going to race because he said if he doesn't have a chance at the Triple Crown, he's taking his ball and going home.
I already heard I think it's not Country Horse. May be wrong on this, but I think they said that he's also not going to do one of the rest of the two races. I don't know what they're called. Preakness and the other one is.
It's not Belmont, is it?
Yeah, Belmont.
Is it Belmont?
That sounds like it would be right, but not sure. But anyway, so
big horse racing.
Yeah, Belmont.
They made a good point saying the money from that comes from the winnings, and then also after the fact, people line up because they want to do that pedigree of horse.
So you're talking about the money for the owner?
Yeah. So that Country House isn't really the affinity's not there for that horse, essentially. Granted, yes, obviously they're still, but yeah, it's like
for his billionaire
like
owner,
you win on
to make more money off his horse. Times are tough out there,
which is a fair point.
You hate to see it happen to those kind of people.
Yeah.
But what about the call? What did y'all think? I thought it was cool. First off, when it finished, we did a little thing at the party where everyone just drew randomly out of a hat. So there was no betting on odds. I like that too. Everyone put $5 just to pick a name out of a hat randomly. So each person got one horse. It wasn't spread out. Two people had the same or whatever.
Adam won and collected all the money.
Adam wins.
Had to give it all
collects the money.
Give it all back.
And then I forget, we kind of once it happened, we were all celebrating and kind of watching. It was an exciting 2 minutes of sports. And then we all kind of dispersed and get back into the party and socializing. And then I hear this Tyler, come here. And Will calls me over. He's like, I think they're challenging this. And then everyone starts paying attention to
it was like
crap.
22 minutes.
This is the most, they say that the most exciting 2 minutes in sports.
Ever.
But this drama went on for 20 minutes, which makes the Derby kind of fun. I mean, you don't ever want to lose or win like that, really, because it's fun to do it right, to win it right. But that just kind of made. I've never watched the race. I don't think. I think it's a social thing. I think it's fun, but I've never really actually sat and watched the 2 minutes.
I've watched it here and there, but I've definitely missed it before, just because I looked away and it's 2 minutes long.
Yeah, that's right. It's not like so who's winning the race up there? It's just like that and it's gone. But what y'all think of the call, I guess, after seeing it?
I don't know.
I thought it was a little ticky-tacky.
I thought it was too. But
yeah.
I've heard a lot of good points about why they should have. But
I don't know. Again, I'm not an expert at horse racing or anything like that. And it was also, again, we're at a party setting, so it's not like, hey, everybody stop what you're doing because I need to hear what they're saying.
Sure. Yeah.
So I was trying to decipher by these back and forth camera angles of what they're looking at. I mean, I guess I understand why the call was made because he was leading in. There was contact made. He moved out of his lane and stuff like that. But I don't know. There was also opinions said that didn't really affect the outcome of the race whatsoever. Had he stayed in his lane and not made contact, he would have blown.
Yeah,
them
I
out.
agree with that. That was my first thought too. Is does this really change the outcome? I don't think so. In my very uneducated look at horse racing, but I did hear so they would call that on a Wednesday race or in the earlier races they would. So it was okay, if you're going to call it there and it wouldn't be a big stink at all, you honestly just have to apply that to this race too. You do. I mean, it's
like refereeing in any sport.
Yeah, it's if you're going to call it there, you have to call it fair. That's just the rule is a rule is a rule. And it's not like basketball where it's so subjective. It's did that happen? Yes or no? And it did. And I agree. It feels so minuscule when it's in the minutia of horse racing. It's did that really change anything? But at the same time, I heard another good point. A counter argument to that was this is the biggest race they ever have. 19 horses. When are you going to ever have that many horses on a track? You're bound to have
it's hard to train
happen.
For
and
that
it's
to
muddy, it's raining, it's an ugly derby anyway. So but I agree. I mean, I think at the end of the day you want it to be called right. For instance, look at the Saints game, I guess. I look at the play you want it to be called right. Yes or no, you want it to be called whether it's in the playoffs, but I hate even in soccer or in football, I hate when it almost they start getting real they don't want to call the foul late in the game or whatever because they don't want to influence the game. And I understand not inserting yourself into a game as a ref, but like for any sport, you just if that's the rule, then
I guess so. But I feel like this would be similar to like in the Super Bowl, the wide receiver on the far left side of the field holding his cornerback while like a sweep to the right side went for a touchdown. Yeah, it's like by the letter of the law, that was a penalty, but it didn't affect the play. So do you really want to call it and affect the whole thing?
Yeah,
so I say you got to let the horses play.
But I guess
that's my official statement.
You let the horses horse around.
Yeah, but then it's also it was
do horse things.
It was a challenge instituted by Country House, right? So if they're the ones that bring that up.
Did they do it?
I believe so. I think they're the ones that actually bring up the challenge.
I wonder if we're going to see that like every year now. Like the second place horse is just going to, because there's no penalty for being wrong.
Right.
That I know of. I don't fact check me on that.
Well, I wouldn't think so either, right? Yeah. I mean, if you just ask, hey, take a look at the tape real quick. But like, I wonder how many.
But if you have to do that and then you are taking a look at the tape, and to Tyler's point, you're going by the letter of the law. I mean, how do you look at it and just say, like, that's not as big of a deal? Or, this is a really big race.
And, like, and how close are we going to get to where, like, every year we start reviewing this? Like, the
race
why
finishes, would you not if it's a half-length finish in the
future? if they see a hoof or anything, I don't know how big or whatever has to be out in the technical parts of it, but what if you see a little bit of contact?
A hoof is a technical part of
But I'm saying, like, I don't know if it has to be, like, a leg, a hoof. I don't know exactly. It's,
Like, how much contact?
Yeah, like, how much does it have to be? Is there a certain percentage? I don't know. But, like, I think I start reviewing all of that for second, because I mean, people bet on first, show, and place. Like people bet on all that.
Win, place, show.
So like, are they start going through all of that every single year? You know, what are you laughing at, Jimmy?
The first one you just said first, and then the other two you mixed up.
First, I don't care. I'm not going to get any order here. I'm just
for 3 reasons: A, 2, and D.
Buzz from Home Alone.
Yes,
nailed it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess to my point, for me as a casual fan who has zero money on the line, it's like, I don't care how long. I mean, you want to review that for 15 minutes? Go ahead. It's going to keep everybody
more drinking for me.
Yeah, something for me to do.
Include it into the TV. For every time they run back a replay, you have to take a sip of your beer.
Yes.
Why not?
I had $37 on that race, and I went from losing it all to also losing it all. What they had changed didn't affect anything.
It was funny. I liked the original favorite, which I didn't know at the time, Omaha Beach, because I think it's I'm going to butcher this. It's the 75th anniversary of D-Day? Is that right?
I did not know that.
Or 65th? I know I'm butchering that number because it was 1945, something to that effect. So it was an anniversary 44. Of that. Omaha Beach.
Was he scratched? Because I don't even...
scratched. Yeah, okay. He got scratched. I can't remember why, but anyway, that was my. We were just looking. I was looking over the names real quick. It was just the names. Also, speaking of names,
Tacitus. Yes.
Speaking of names,
I don't think I want any money.
His mutta was a mutta.
If you had to name, real quick, if you had to name a horse, if you had a horse in the race, what would you name it?
Ooh, go. I like this.
Todd Gurley.
Todd Gurley could run in that race. I like
it, but not creative. That's true.
Foul ball.
Okay.
Oh,
that's pretty good.
I like it. This is putting me on the spot, and I don't know. I would literally have to think about it because I look at all these names like
Bannister,
War of Wheels,
Win, cool. Cutting Humor, By My Standards, Boat Express, Tax. Like I filed my taxes.
Tax is a goofy one.
Horsey McHorseface.
That's awesome.
That's a good one.
That is good.
Why the long face?
That would be hilarious.
Mr. Ed.
You did Mr. Ed?
Mr. Ed.
So I would go with College Try. But spell it T-R-I, like the Triple Crown. Like you're going for the 3, like the trifecta.
Oh, there you go. That's a fun
that's not fair. I feel
like you're College Try. I have to give it some
lot of thought before
Tyler's clearly been sitting on that for like 4 days. He just asked that so he could say his part.
I went through this. As
he didn't care what we said.
Jimmy, as if you read something on Reddit that gave you something to say right now. Yes?
No, I didn't.
No, okay.
Yeah.
But
I would have come up with something better than Todd Gurley if I had.
Hey, Alexa, that would be mine.
No, that'd be pretty good.
Pretty funny.
Hey, Alexa, come around the third corner.
It'd be like, hey Google or something. They'd be lighting up all over the country.
Hey Siri,
that'd be funny.
Hey Siri, every time they say hey Siri, or somebody's phone would be like,
or be like, hey Siri, Venmo. So like the jockey's name, $5. Like, and hey Siri, Venmo jockey, $5 is coming around the third corner. Like that'd be pretty funny.
Hey Siri. No,
it is confirmed. I did lose all my money, even after the They're
just such a high roller. You didn't even have to check it when it happened.
There you go.
I like that.
I logged into Bovada and I had $37 in there from when I dabbled in it last football season. So I just zeroed it out on a bunch of prop bets I knew nothing about. I was like, huh.
I didn't even know you could. I didn't know there was a winner place show. I didn't even know idea that was even a thing.
First, second, third. Yeah. So you can bet on them to get in the actual spot, or I think you can bet that they will win place or show, but your odds, like the payout goes down quite a bit. Obviously, as much as you lower your risk. And then like the royal flush of a horse race is getting win, place, show correct, picking 3 different horses.
And then the remaining finishing, is that right? Is that?
I think only the top 3 matter, right?
I know they had a line where you could pick you could pick it in order of finish.
Oh, that would be like impossible.
Yeah, but I'm sure the payout was pretty
That's
wild.
I'd probably pay out like 10,000 to 1. And
yeah,
the only time
someone gives you 10,000 to 1.
I mean, 19 horses.
You take them.
19 horses. There actually is a 10,000 to 1 odds.
Tony Romo.
Yes. Yeah. The degenerate gambler Eric was telling Reese, who was telling me, I guess he told Jimmy as well, that Tony Romo is playing in a pro-am, I guess, tournament.
Against like
golf,
actual
or
professionals.
golf tournament. And I think he has like
He has 10,000 to 1 odds.
So
Vegas opened a betting line. You can bet on Tony Romo to basically beat like Rory McIlroy.
I think it was something like...
Oh, you can only
Tiger
bet for
Woods
him to win?
Yeah.
But it stands
You
like...
can't
It's
hedge your bet.
something crazy, like if you bet $1, you can win like $4,200 or something like that.
If you bet
He's
$1,
not a-
you'd win
he's-
$10,000.
No. Eric was saying that they capped it at like for every dollar it was... Or something like that effect. I don't know. Reese was something about it.
That'd
Well,
be kind of BS if they call it 10,000 odds.
Don't
and
quote
cap
me on
it
that,
at
but that's
40.
just what Reese is briefing me on.
He's not a bad golfer.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
He's
No, he's a
got
very good
plenty of
golfer.
time.
Yeah,
We're
but
putting $5.
We had a lot of time at the end of the season to play.
Yeah.
His season wasn't too long, so
Shots. Yeah, that's true. 16 games.
yeah.
Hard
Stop. Hey, I'm not trying to keep this going. I got to get to the tee. I got a tee time tomorrow.
Yeah.
Hey,
That'd be hilarious.
Props out to you,
First
Tony.
ever case of a quarterback throwing a Week 17 like playoff game.
I got a pro-am coming up. I got 10,000
I got a
odds.
golf trip planned. What would be the first week of the playoffs? So either we get a bye or I don't want to go.
We got to figure this thing out.
Just casually rolling out and throwing balls into the stands.
Oh my God.
Let's speed this up.
Anyway, that's pretty funny. We've covered everything almost, I feel like.
Yeah.
Except Game of Thrones.
That is one thing that I did want to talk about because, again, we've had...
GOT, you're talking about?
Yeah.
Do we have any more sports stuff to talk about?
Nope.
The
Will's
ready to get him
the NFL
I'm
draft.
chomping at the bit.
The NFL draft did happen.
Okay. Yeah. So
Shocks,
biggest things.
surprises, anything?
D-Bake fell farther than I expected him to, but he also was the first cornerback taken, DeAndre Baker.
Okay.
So I guess just for whatever reason, cornerback wasn't as valued of a position this year. But I think he was the best cornerback in the country, and he went first. So that checks out. It stinks that at least you think when you go 30th overall, you're going to a Super Bowl contender. But through a series of trades, he ended up at a pretty crappy team.
Point.
So that's a bummer.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, it's like not. I mean, it's obviously great money. I think his signing bonus was like $7 million. But
Sure.
there's a pretty steep drop off. Like
I saw that.
every single pick is like multiple millions of dollars.
That's what they say.
It's crazy.
You can lose millions. You can lose millions over some little stuff that teams get nitpicky on.
Yeah.
But Mecole, which is funny because I was surprised about Mecole, kind of the people that keep saying the Tyreek Hill replacement getting drafted by Kansas City, because he was the one guy coming out of UGA early junior year and being told, the one who didn't follow the instruction of, hey, maybe you should stay.
Yeah.
Of the advice he got as far as should you stay in college, he was the one that didn't follow the
they
advice
told him
of
to
staying.
stay and try and develop as a route runner.
He got picked over the likes and earlier than either like Elijah Holyfield or Isaac Nada. So I thought that was kind of
he went before Riley Ridley too.
Did he go before Ridley beat Ridley also?
Yeah, he was the second one off the board.
Which is crazy because Riley is, a huge red zone target, which is, for us he was.
Yeah.
I feel like he's a much more well-rounded receiver. Obviously,
I guess maybe
when your ceiling is so high.
His ceiling, he's closer to being topped out, and Mecole's so raw.
Right.
And you can't teach speed. So I guess that's the GM's.
Yeah, but what was it? 5 dogs? Was it DeAndre, Nada,
Both
Mecole,
receivers. Lamont Galliard. DeAndre Walker is a Tennessee Titan.
DeAndre Walker.
So that makes
sense.
sense.
And then I guess forget. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
and then
Elijah
Holyfield, he got undrafted.
That's a bummer.
To the Panthers.
Just say Nada.
And Terry Godwin. Terry Godwin got drafted.
Godwin got drafted
to the Panthers.
Yeah.
So
7.
Mm-hmm. That's
7
pretty good.
dogs. That's good. Yeah.
I'll take it. Also,
The Bears have a
I think it's the SEC for the 7th year in a row led all picks. It wasn't even close. I think it was even, you could even combine the Pac-12 and ACC, and they still wouldn't beat the SEC.
You know what I thought was interesting was the SEC was the most even conference in picks in terms of the number one school of players being drafted was the lowest percentage overall of the conference. So Bama had the most player drafted, but overall they were still only 15% because many other players got drafted. But like Washington was like 40% of the Pac-12 drafted.
And it was like
Ohio State was like 50% of the Big Ten or whatever.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty interesting. Is that it shows that it's a solid conference top to bottom in terms of talent.
I mean, well, there is one team at the very bottom of the SEC that had 0 players drafted.
For the third
they wear
time in
orange.
4 years.
They play in a stadium that looks like
destroys people's knees. I'm nervous to go up there this year. Not for the outcome of the game, but we always tend to have players get hurt in that game.
That's true.
So they do some voodoo magic, bury some bodies under that field or something.
So shout out to Tennessee. 0 draft picks. So the only team in the Vanderbilt, Kentucky.
That's embarrassing.
You know, they had draft picks.
Kentucky had a top 10 pick.
Was it what?
Josh Allen? Yeah. Who?
Good for Josh.
I don't know. Shout out Josh Allen. We're proud of you. So he got drafted actually by Jacksonville because next year.
Snell? What did he go?
Snell went like the 4th or 5th round. I think he's the kind of guy. I think college backs like that are kind of a dime a dozen to wear.
That's fair.
And he's got so much tread on those tires now.
Very good point.
So little tread. Well, I don't know how that phrase works.
You were actually
still working on it.
You were in Nashville.
Yeah,
right?
I did go up for the draft with my dad. The second round was fun. We got to go on like a riverboat that I guess is a well-known thing, the SS General Jackson or something. It's like a well-known thing in Nashville because my dad has Titan season tickets, so we got to do that. Got to meet Chris Johnson, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, I saw that. That's a cool picture.
Yeah, and Michael Griffin, who played free safety with us. He's the guy that owns the Cupcake Shop with Brian Arakpo. That's probably what he's most well-known for. And then Lindell White was there too. And he was kind of salty because he was not compensated for being there. They just told him that he could drink for free. So he was trying to get his money's worth out of the open bar. But he was not one of the good people that was like paid to like stand at the end of a line and take pictures with people. So
he was the USC great behind Reggie Bush, right?
Yeah. We drafted him and he was pretty good for us for like 2 or 3 years, and which is probably pretty typical of running backs in the NFL. If you look away from the star power and just look at him as a whole. 2 or 3 year shelf life, and he probably made like $4 or $5 million.
Right.
So
well,
he had an entourage with him. He had some guy carrying he had like a satchel, like a man purse that he had some guy carrying, and then he would send some guy to the bar for him.
Oh my god!
And stuff. So he's still living that rock star lifestyle.
I'm not gonna hate that. I could rock with that. Nice. So, but Nashville looked fun. I mean, watching on TV looked incredible.
Yeah, Thursday night was crazy.
There's
160,000 people was the number that they announced like midway through the first round, but then the numbers that came out after were that 600,000 people came to the city. Most of them bachelorette parties.
I'm sure.
Who were not aware that it was draft weekend.
Which is so fun. I saw some stories about that, which is so fun. The girls are like, I had no idea all these people with jerseys were walking around Broadway and yada, 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 dominating all the bars. I was like, well, that tells me your mans doesn't watch football because he would have warned you, like, hey, that big weekend when you and your girlfriend's going to go party.
Yeah.
For one last big fling.
Jess and her friends came up that weekend.
Yeah.
When she first said she was going, I was like, it's a draft that weekend. And she was like, yeah, but I don't think it'll be a big deal. And I was like, all right. So they went on Saturday and said they enjoyed it.
Well, good. I mean, as long as you have a good time. If you're not complaining about it, then good for you.
Yeah,
if you're
I think their Airbnb was more expensive. They were confused about why it was so expensive, and that was why. Yeah. But other than that, I think once you got out of true downtown, back towards like Midtown and like 12 South and stuff, it wasn't as prominent. Yeah. And then they went and enjoyed the festivities on Saturday, kind of leaned into the fact that they were there on accident.
Good for them.
I think they had a good time with it.
Oh, it's a big event. It's fun.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
It was fun, though. It was cool.
So back to the social.
Will is ready.
The social
Let's
aspect
do
of
this. Game of Thrones.
We need to talk about
back.
Game of Thrones.
Things that are back. Georgia basketball.
Well, first off, if you have not seen up to Season 8,
spoilers.
Episode 4.
Spoilers all incoming.
Season 8, Episode 4. Stop listening right now because spoilers will be ruined for you.
Have we done
Snape kills Dumbledore.
Yeah. Have we done a podcast since the beginning of Season 8?
Did we talk about I don't think we have. I think we just talked about going into it. We were discussing some theories.
Yeah. So I'm going to start off and set the tone of the way that I think Season 8 is going. And maybe people can label me as a hater.
Other than South?
Yeah.
It's paralleling the way that
John's going to march.
Both literally and figuratively. I think this is the worst season.
I think so too.
And again, I think it's because they just don't have the material, which is fair. But I think it's kind of like cowardly writing in a sense.
Yeah.
I just don't think they're very good writers. I think they're very good adapters of material, and that's why the early seasons were so good. Because you think about seasons 1 through 5, they had like 6,000 pages of material to take from, and now they basically have like some bullet points that the author gave them once.
And the way that I look at it,
they're doing their best. It's just not very good.
But I
feel like you're held to a certain standard when your budget's like $190 million.
Well, yeah, but the thing is like they have a limited because there's like 6 episodes.
There's only 2 left.
There's 6.
Hour and a half apiece.
So the way I look at it is like, okay, there's been a couple of episodes that deservedly so were spent recapping and building up towards a battle and then the aftermath and things like that. The
second episode was good, even though nothing happened. There were a lot of good closure for a lot of characters, but then none of them died. What was that?
I definitely agree with that, but I think that if you're going to use one of your 6 episodes on closure like that, like why not just make a 10-episode season like everything else and give this is literally going to be one of the biggest finishes to a show of all time, like maybe The Sopranos and maybe Breaking Bad.
I think we're breaking records here.
I think it'll be the most viewed finale of all time.
But I think then, like, if you have that, like, why wouldn't you give the audience what they not only want but actually deserve? Because the fact of the matter is that this has been like almost a decade, a decade, right? Because there's been 2 years in between this and the last season. So this is 10 years. So people have been following this for 10 years. Like, why wouldn't you just make it 10 episodes, give everybody, finish out the story arcs for all these characters? Like, I don't think
apparently, so the producers, they call them D&D because their names like Daniel and David something, are set to produce the next 3 Star Wars films in the Star Wars universe. Jeez. And I think they're just ready to move on from Game of Thrones. I think they knew that they were not... I think they knew they weren't going to be able to live up to the standard that they'd created for themselves in the first few seasons. So they're like, let's just get this over with.
Yeah. I don't even want to say that, like, they didn't. I have no idea. Maybe you're right. I feel like a lot of finales for shows don't quite live up to what exactly you want. I feel like it ends. You want a little more.
But this isn't even a finale. This is a whole season.
We're not even there yet, and I agree. But I feel like what we're getting to isn't going to be sufficient. I feel like we're going to end it, but like this feels a little cheap. And I agree with you. Like, so episode 3 happened when the big battle of Winterfell.
Awful.
Battle for Dawn. Fight for Dawn.
Very dark.
I didn't think it was that bad. I didn't think it was warranted. I can see where like it was kind of hazy and all that stuff. Where the point I was getting to is I feel like it got away from character, or it got weak was Ned Stark. This is the main character. Dead. Oh, Robb Stark. Dead. Like they were just killing. And then the
Red Wedding.
The Red Wedding. Then there was the Sept Baylor.
Yeah.
Cersei blew everybody up. Killed everyone you know. Like, they just didn't care. I think there's all this good material, like Jamie said, and then they get so soft on us as far as who they're willing to kill, how greedy they want to get. I just hated that. I mean, not that I like to see everyone die, it's violence, but it just felt. It's like that's what makes a show great. It's gritty. It's not fairy tale. It's not. This is going to end well for somebody. And now all these little happy things.
Brienne and Jamie and Sam were
that was so
overwhelmed by whites, and then they were just alive.
And then like Jon, like the Night King never fought. He never did. He didn't want to fight Jon. He didn't want to do. It's just none of it was very fulfilling. And then I like the fact that Arya, did the deed. That was cool. It was a curveball. It was fun to watch. It surprised me. That was a shock factor. I like that. But now it feels, and I have no complaints about that episode because it was fun, but it feels very hollow now because now we have the baddest villain of all of TV history, in my opinion, of the Night King. Unbeatable. Turns everybody, like, we've been fearing them for centuries. That
was the 28-3 lead he blew.
Blew the 28-3 lead, which is a pretty good meme I saw on the internet. But then, like, it's just, that's over. There's no more developing the history. They don't have time to even delve into this big zombie.
We didn't get any sort of motivation except for, like, a one-off line by Bran that it's like, he wants to erase the world's memories.
Right.
It's just like some weird like giver type stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Book?
Like
the giver.
It was like Bran's turned into the giver, like the keeper of the memories and history.
Jonas.
And if he would have died, it would all be gone. But now that he's saved, it's like, oh great, we have a giver.
So I have a number of problems with that episode. Number one, the fact that it was just one episode. I think you could literally, because the thought was like, oh, this is going to basically rival what Lord of the Rings did in Helm's Deep, which
looked a lot like
was the longest battle sequence in film history for however many hours it lasted. Which it's like, okay, that's why again you can just extend this and make it 2 episodes, right? Well, that would have been pretty easy to do and get more involved with like what's actually going on, because in the first like 2 seconds, like half their army or a third of their army, I guess, really is gone.
Technically,
yeah, that was some odd strategy.
It was poetic in a way because you could see all the fires extinguish.
Well, that's the thing. I think a lot of the stuff that's happened this season is literally them being like, it's like, well, what was the character's motivation to do this? And they're like, well, because it looked cool. And it's like, it takes you out of the story because it doesn't make sense in universe what they're doing. Right. They're obviously just doing stuff as like a cheap payout to the fans.
Exactly. That's nail on the head right there. Yeah. That's a good point.
So it's like you got that kickoff.
Good job.
And it was like,
I stole that from Reddit.
Like everybody.
I knew it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but it's true. I mean, like you have this huge buildup, and then you're like, okay, well, that's so there's that, and then I definitely had a problem with the lack of people or main characters dying. Like, just to put it simply. I mean,
Grey Worm talked about life after the war. That's, you die when that happens. Everybody knows that.
You can't be happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the crypts, we all saw that coming. I thought for sure that Sansa or Tyrion or both or the girlfriend and the kid of Sam were going to die. Gilly.
And
I thought
Little Sam.
And Little Sam, I thought they were going to go.
Oh, they would too.
I thought that they were going to burst out of the crypt. I mean, but the fact is they were so overrun. Like, they were literally up against the wall, like Jimmy said. And it was just like standing there,
like hacking their way through.
Untired.
B.
Yeah. And then
just button mashing, no combos, just mashing.
The other thing that I had a big problem with, and I think was like totally unnecessary in the story, was Brienne and Jamie getting together.
Yeah,
because I think that was such a break of character for Jamie, and then it's almost like, and then Brienne is still a hard ass. So like when she cries at the end, it's like, I don't like
weird.
That. It was a bizarre, unnecessary
exchange.
The only thing
that could save that is like if Jamie goes down there and ends up killing Cersei, and we find out that for whatever reason he decided to lie to Brienne about where he was going.
Or Brienne gets in there and she's in trouble, and he comes.
Oh, he could double back and save her.
I agree with you. It breaks character for both characters, but I guess it's after the long night. It happened. They had this big war where they're all kind of. Jamie's already a broken character. He has betrayed Cersei the most he ever has the entire series. He left her there. He said, I'm not going to march with the armies. If you're not going to send the armies, I'm going to go myself.
Well, yeah.
I'm going to aid my brother. So he's already kind of said, you know what, the hell with Cersei. He's already past that threshold.
But now at the end of this last episode, for what we know, he's going back to Cersei, which is weird. So I'm okay with them getting together in terms of like that being like the peak of his character arc. But all of a sudden he just did like a 180.
Yeah.
Like,
and it was like, awkward.
You knew who I was. I am who I am. I'm going.
It was an awkward
Cersei.
Exchange too. I
agree with that. But I didn't. Maybe so. Y'all took it as he's going back to.
Yeah.
He's going back to like almost make amends with Cersei.
Yeah, like he's choosing Cersei over Brienne is the way it was presented to us. So maybe
I didn't take it that
maybe
way.
we'll get some sort of plot twist.
I didn't.
How did you take it? Did you take it like I'm going back there to kill her?
Not kill her, but I mean I think he will. I think Jamie's the only one that's like worthy enough. I know a lot of people have a good claim to it, but I feel like Jamie is the one that can.
It needs to be Jamie or Tyrion. Yeah. I would have preferred Arya do it, but that's too many kills for her that are big kills in one season.
Totally agree.
Yeah, I agree.
So to wrap up that question, I think, in short, somehow, some way, Cersei either has or does kill Tyrion through poison, through a guy like Bronn or whatever that kills Tyrion, and then that snaps Jamie and he kills Cersei. I think that's how that works somehow, some way. I just think for that exchange with Jamie and Brienne, I just think that wasn't more of I'm going to go kill her. It's more of I want to go stop her from being killed because I know that what we have can just absolutely crush everything I know.
I just think
it would wipe it out. I don't think it was him choosing. I don't think he loves Brienne or whatever. I don't think he's like saying I'm choosing one over the other. I just want to do the right thing, and I think the right thing is me inserting myself and stopping Cersei from doing any more damage to herself or anyone here that I've now come to fight for. Is my thing.
Okay, so we'll see how that plays out.
The next couple of things that were talked about pretty widely is.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the next couple of things you don't like. I'm just going to work our way down a list of things that Will hates.
Well,
I'm sure we have a list.
This is all pretty common stuff.
Things
It's
I
like
like
all over the internet and
like.
Reddit and stuff. Is like Dany didn't see the ships. Like, how could she have not seen
That
the
was
ships?
crap. That was crap.
And I was like, okay, this is kind of dumb. And then so they hit her one dragon with 3 arrows
sniped it
from the side, and then she's coming straight at him, and an entire fleet is now, and they miss. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I agree.
So that was a huge point of contention. I was like, this is really dumb.
And that's another thing that, like, it doesn't really make sense in the universe they've created. It's just a thing that they needed to happen. So they just picked a random way to make it happen.
Well, they should have done it better.
2 dragons is too strong, but 1 dragon, maybe Cersei has a little more of a chance.
Yeah.
Or they needed to, like, weaken Dany.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's lazy. It's crap. It's more like we don't know how to creatively make this happen, and we have to make it quick because we only have 6 episodes, and maybe because we've gotten lazy. And then B is like what you said, Jimmy. It's just it's out of convenience. It's just this is out of character for literally what we've painted the entire 8 or 7 seasons prior. And now we're just gonna make it convenient to us. But it's been gritty. It's been fun. It's been curveballs. It's been, oh my god, I can't believe they did or didn't do that. And now it's just cheap.
And it was weird to me that Cersei, when they had their little thing where Missandei died at the end of this last episode, and Cersei had Daenerys, Tyrion, Grey Worm, who's the commander of her armies, her dragon, all those people within striking distance of those giant. She had archers, and then she had those things that she had just used to kill one of the other dragons. So she's obviously not against killing dragons. And Cersei, who 2 seasons ago blew up and it like a cathedral full of hundreds of people,
some of which were innocent.
Yeah, just because she felt like it. Like, now is the time where she's like, "Oh, I'm going to obey these rules of war, and like we're going to do this honorably." It's like, what? That makes no sense.
Completely out of character.
Like, as they were walking away, she had been like, she had one of the archers like kill Tyrion or something, and then be like, "And now we'll fight like an actual battle." Then I would get it. But
no, I agree. I mean, I don't know. It is making, but I mean, she did the same thing in the last episode of season 7 where they all met her there and tried to say we'll show you the White Walker or the White, and like we'll prove to you there's a dead army, and she didn't kill any of them there either. She didn't even try. So
because it's not convenient to the plot in that moment which is goofy. I did see a thing that was funny that they brought that White from the wall all the way to King's Landing in a wooden box, but then the bones of old Starks in the crypts were able to punch through a cement sarcophagus.
Oh man, like, you're really punching holes. You
are.
We can nitpick
I didn't
everything.
even think about that, but that's a good point.
Wait, you mean to tell me you draw the line at a dead
that's
man?
That's where I draw the line. The strength that a zombie has. I've been in there for hundreds of years.
I'm still trying to enjoy it overall. I mean, yes, we have some nitpicks about this, but I guess
I do think it's silly that there's literally people out there on Reddit, Twitter, Facebook, internet world that are like, this season's so bad, I'm done. I'm not even going to finish the season. It's like, really? You've been watching this for 100 hours and 9 years, and you're not going to watch 3 more hours?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I still think, obviously, yes, out of convenience, and it feels kind of cheap in a way, but I still want to see how about this? What's his name? R.R. Martin?
George
R.R. Martin. He told them, that's Tolkien, yeah.
Gurm.
Martin told them how it ends. So we're going to get how it ends. Unfortunately, for people who read the books, he already told them, here's the end point you need to get to.
Yeah.
So we're going to get, so at least I would definitely want to see that. I'm not going to not. It's still probably one of the best TV shows of all time. I mean, I would argue. I hate, like most, I feel like Hunger Games is the same way. The last book felt very like, and if you haven't read these books, sorry, but like Katniss passed out, woke up, all this stuff happened, they kill this person, kill that person, and we're done. It's like, this
and it was kind of
so
silly.
Lazy.
She's like, in the first book, she's struggling just to beat a bunch of untrained teenagers, and then like a year later, 2 books later, she's like the general of an army that's doing a coup to take over the entire army.
So I say that one example because it's more recent as well, where it's a book and a movie, and it's just like I don't know why, but it feels like there seems to be this great buildup of these ends, and we just never quite get. We never get all the itches we want scratched. It kind of just like
I guess we'll probably never know, but I would be curious to see if George R.R. Martin had either like managed to publish the books while the show was going on, or if they had just been already totally done before the show came out, how much it would have changed. If it would have been better if they had more of his material.
Sure. I now wish they would have.
Yeah,
I really do.
You guys should read the books. when they come out. It's a commitment. It took me like 5 months to read them.
From what you tell me, because Jimmy's a great resource to have. After the shows were over in the earlier seasons when there's a lot going on, it was more like, hey, what is that? What is this? And it was a great way. So obviously the books give you a lot of background. From what you've told me outside of just the shows, I don't know how the book's going to wrap up. And
I don't know.
I mean, there are so many other characters and so many plot lines.
She's still in Essos in
That's
the books.
just overwhelming.
And John is still dead, and like they're pretty far ahead of the books.
Yeah,
now.
that just overwhelms me. How's a book going to wrap that up in what 2 or 3? From what the show's even. I mean, the show expedites everything, so it's just.
So what are
crazy.
What are your predictions for how everything is going to wrap up and end?
So I think they're kind of trying to put Dany into like a Mad Queen arc, the way she was walking away with that look on her face after they killed Miss Sunday is my favorite way I've seen, like the meme way to say her name, like Mrs. Sunday.
Miss Sunday.
This is pretty funny. And then they call her Kelly C for Khaleesi.
Do they really?
Yeah, that's like the joke way to spell the different names.
Is like Grey Worm just Grey Worm?
Grey Worm's just Grey Worm. I'll look them up, and there's some pretty funny ones. But so I think they're putting her along, that Mad Queen arc. So I feel like her and Cersei are both going to die, and then John. I don't think it would be a happy ending for John to end up as king, though, because he's made
John's
it so
gonna
clear
kill Dany.
He doesn't want to be king. He may have to be the one to kill.
I don't think he'll kill Dany.
You don't think?
I think so.
That's a good point. I don't have an answer for who. John is almost. He's done difficult stuff, like he had to behead the guy on the Night's Watch and stuff, but that seems too. To me, that is such an escalation from John's character from what he is now.
Maybe more of him making
he's doing the best for the realm.
Sacrifice.
Yeah,
maybe. So okay, that's a good point. So my prediction is I don't know who's gonna. I think Cersei does die. I think Dany does die. Yeah. I think John almost because I think the Tormund thing was almost a nod to come stay with us. You belong with us. You're one of the people.
I could see him.
I see him living in exile or like just like going way up north undiscovered kind of stuff like Benji did or whatever. Like just being with the northern folks, the free people or whatever. Yeah. Just like that, just being his. He was like, I don't want the throne. I don't care. I'm sick of this stuff. I'm not even a Stark. The Targaryens are dead. I don't want any of this. Yeah. I married Ygritte or whatever. Like
who would be left if he does that? Like I think Sansa is the most competent person left in terms of
which is crazy.
Politics and stuff.
Viserys.
Yeah.
I could see it be like
but he's always said he doesn't want the power. He just pulls strings behind the scenes for the good of the realm.
So then, could it be Tyrion? Could it be? Oh, Miss Sunday did. Could it be Mrs. Sunday got?
Oh, Miss Sunday did.
Could it be Tyrion?
No.
I mean, that seems too. His
role will always be like some sort of advisor.
Yeah, that seems too like little people downtrodden.
Sam.
He technically is he's a head of a house.
Sam must have some part to play still because he's
alive.
No reason he should have survived that battle.
Could it be Gendry?
Maybe he's the Lord of Storm's End right now.
But that all goes to shit once Dany gets.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
If that happens, I'm sorry, I'm yelling. If that happens, but
that would just be too much.
Maybe
good
it's going to be
happening.
Bronn.
God, no, I hope not.
The Lord of
that'd be real shitty.
Highgarden now.
Yeah,
if he.
I don't know. I guess
Cersei doesn't kill that.
They're just. I can see it being like. I don't know. Could it be like a little council, a little democracy? I guess I don't. That seems too nice. I really do think this is going to end, and it's going to be just the same people fighting over and over and over. Someone's going to claim the throne, and then someone's going to be upset about it, and you're going to see a war starting again, and it's going to end like that. I don't know who the people are in play. I could just see the wheels spinning again, and then you're just like, oh my, like humans are humans, or people are people. Like it's just never
room for offshoot show.
I think they're already filming several series that are prequels or spin-offs.
Three spin-offs from this, and I'm hoping for a prequel. Because see, like a Robert's Rebellion and Mad King kind of stuff.
Granted, it's when the first men or something.
It's all lost because you know kind of how it ends now. But like to me, that's fun. Like
it'd be fun to see it play out.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see. But we have the Battle of King's Landing this Sunday, which is
supposed to be the grittiest
episode. better battle than.
I hope so. At least it'll be sunny out.
Do y'all think?
I think the Battle of the Bastards has been the best
for sure.
battle in this series so far.
I guess hate how helpless Jon was there, even though he was also in Winterfell. I guess hate how he definitely needed Littlefinger to come and rescue him. I guess I hated Ramsay was such
Littlefinger.
Ramsay he was such a good villain. I hated to see him get even a little bit of.
I know
it was a good death though. You're saying that
of any kind of up on Jon, like he was able to best Jon still,
yeah,
like because he was willing to win at all costs, sacrifice his own men, kind of thing. I guess
But the thing is, it was frustrating to watch, but going back to what they're not doing this season, it made sense for both their characters because Ramsay doesn't care about anyone, so he'll sacrifice his own men to hurt, and he knew that John would ride out to try and save Rickon, even though it wasn't smart.
Right.
So, it made sense inside of the characters they've developed,
I agree too.
even though it didn't actually make sense for them to do.
I totally agree with that.
It's
I don't know. Maybe he was the best villain in TV history.
While y'all were talking about all this, I just randomly clicked on Jive because I was listening, and there's a whole
producer Dave. Everyone,
there's a whole thing about the Emilia Clarke,
where she's like best season ever.
No, it's like fun facts about the real actress or whatever.
Okay.
Here's one: the heart that Daenerys eats in season 1 was made of solidified jam. Amelia said it tasted like bleach and raw pasta, so her disgusted face wasn't all acting. She ate 28 hearts over the course of filming and had a puke bucket on set. So that's the real deal.
I wonder how she knows what bleach tastes like.
Yeah.
Smell it.
That's how her hair is so blonde.
Yeah, there you go. That's how the Targaryens keep their blonde hair by drinking bleach.
I'm excited to see how it ends, but I mean, I'm hoping it's a curveball. I don't want it to be predictable. I almost don't want it to be nice either. I want
Euron to die. I'm sick of him. Just this magic pirate that's like a knockoff Jack Sparrow that just comes in and is like can just kill dragons because he feels like
it. As they change his character, and now that there's all powerful, like I control the seas, I kill dragons.
It's annoying.
I get the queen. I get like what the
He's
hell?
Kind of like this weird cheat code that Cersei put in.
A renegade redneck on some random island with some jacked up pickup trucks just roaming around, shooting at birds.
But it was like the thing where she didn't see his fleet, and then like the dragon died, and then like 15 ships sailed out from behind a rock, even though she was like a mile in the air.
I mean, the arrows aren't heat-seeking missiles. You have to shoot them straight.
Yeah,
you have to see the ship. I mean, it just doesn't make sense.
There has to be like some sort of line of sight. Or else they wouldn't have been able to hit her. And all of a sudden they like building that thing was like this huge deal with the battle with the Tarleys, but now they have like infinity of them and they can reload them like immediately.
Yep.
There was the joke, it was like a meme where people were like, well, how do they shoot so much farther and be so more accurate? And like, and the producers were like, they were upgraded. And people are like, with what? And they're like, upgrades. That's the thing. Like, they don't know. The clever writing of it all has kind of fallen by the wayside.
It has gone off for sure.
But we're still going to watch it, and they're still going to get our money. So
still a great show.
They're probably laughing all the way to the bank.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it's been a good episode. I'm glad we got to talk about as much as we did, and hopefully be back next week. We can recap the show and talk about everything else that's been going on and off the court. So from all of us here to all of you out there, I want to say thanks for joining us. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. You can find us on Spotify, YouTube, and iTunes. Or Google Podcasts, which is where I listen to us because I have a Google phone. But yeah,
it was a huge hassle for us to get our group text squared away whenever Will went away from an iPhone.
This has been quite
our
an
phones did not like the fact that Will no longer had an iPhone.
That's very true.
It took us about a week and a half to be able to text each other.
Longer than that.
We were sending emails.
That's just a convenient excuse for them. But all right, once again, thank you guys for joining us, and go Dogs.
Go Dogs.